Recorded. All right, let's do it. We'll let everybody come on in.
No.
All right. Hello, everybody. We'll just wait a few more minutes for everyone to come on in, and then we will get stuck straight into it. If you feel comfortable, we do love to see your faces online. Doesn't matter what you're wearing, what you look like. It's always nice for us to look like we're talking to real people on these virtual demos. So feel free to come off. Feel free to come off mute if you want to chat away. Otherwise, pop any questions that you have in the chat box throughout the evening. We'll keep an eye on it to answer any questions along the way. But I will get stuck straight into it. Thank you all for joining this evening. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sarah. I'm going to keep admitting people. Sophie and Shah, if you're able to admit people in as I'm talking away, that would be fabulous as well. My name is Sarah Filtness. I have been a consultant for 5 years and a team leader for nearly 1 year now. I run the Mindful Kitchen on socials and I'm based in Victoria out in the beautiful Yarra Valley. I'm a mum of 2 boys, which keep me very busy, and I started off with Thermomix. I jumped on board to earn my TM6 because I couldn't afford to buy a Thermomix and I really wanted one on my bench. And 5 years later, here I am still here because I absolutely love it and I love sharing the Thermomix with all of my beautiful customers and followers as well. So I'm going to pass you over to Sophie now and she will introduce herself. I'll just take her off mute. Oh, you off mute? Did I just mute you again? You there, Soph?
Okay, hopefully that's
There
working.
we go. Yep.
Okay, good. Hi everyone, I'm Sophie Campbell. I'm based in Sydney and I've been a consultant for just over 2 years. I've had a Thermomix much longer than that. And yeah, love it. I have 2 kids, 2 and 5, so also keeps me busy and inspired to keep trying new things. And I got to meet Sarah at ThermoFest last year, which was exciting, our annual conference, but we connected virtually first, and Charmaine is in the same branch as me in Sydney, and I'm on Instagram as Snowpea Eats. Thanks for joining.
Beautiful. All right. And Charmaine, over to you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you, Sophie, and thank you, Sarah. So my name is Charmaine Tokic. I am known as the Foodie Mama on socials. I also met Sarah at ThermoFest last year in Fiji, as well, also connected virtually before that. And Sophie is in my branch, as she mentioned as well, and we're all really good friends. I love this network, I guess you could call it. We're like one big family. I really love it. I am a mum of a 5-year-old and 4-year-old both girls. And yeah, I have been with Thermomix for about 2 years as well, and have had my Thermomix for about 2.5 years. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Beautiful. Thank you. So this evening we are going to be showing you quite a lot of recipes because these pantry swaps are actually so quick and easy to do. So it's a great one. We'll be able to show you lots of different things this evening and chat about lots of different things as well. But we're going to get stuck straight into it with our first dish. So I'm going to highlight Sophie and she is going to make some homemade mayonnaise.
All right, I'll get started. So on my home screen, I've got the recipe saved in my meal planner for the week, and this recipe is called cooked mayonnaise in Cookie Dough. Now, obviously, some mayonnaises, the egg isn't cooked, so this is the advantage. It keeps longer in the fridge, it's pregnancy safe, and you might prefer cooked egg for your kids as well. So I'm just going to get started. So with this recipe, you weigh out the oil on top first, and that's the great thing about the scales is you can weigh anything up on the lid, or you could take the bowl off and measure straight on the base of the unit as well in 1 gram increments. So the recipe uses grapeseed oil, but I'm actually using light olive oil. So we're keeping it seed oil free. And I usually get my light olive oil when it's half price. So I like to follow wholesalers and supermarket swap because they're always reminding me on socials when olive oil's half price, because who can pay full price these days? So we're nearly at 300 grams. If you go slightly over, don't worry too much. And then the Thermomix actually ticks it off for you once you reach the amount. And I'm going to press next, and then it says set the jug aside. So we'll pop this aside here. And then now I'm going to place in 1 teaspoon of sea salt. So you can use any salt you like. I like using Celtic sea salt. And then I'm going to tick that off. And then white vinegar. I actually like using apple cider vinegar. This is the one I use. 30 grams of apple cider vinegar. Just going to pour that in. If you go slightly over, that's okay, 31 grams, and it's ticking it off for me. And then I press next, and I'm just going to press start, and it's going to cook the vinegar and salt for 3 minutes, 100 degrees, speed 1. So that's going to cook away. Now, the advantage of when you are at a step, you can actually scroll through your screen and it will tell me what's coming up next. So I can get ready with the next ingredients. So I know that I need 2 eggs, which I've actually already cracked in a bowl. And one thing you can do with this recipe is you can change the flavour. So you can have plain mayo, but if you like garlic mayo or mustard or even chili mayo, you could add whatever you like. And if I go back into the recipe, there's actually a tips section. So in most cookie dough recipes, there'll be tips. And in here, it tells you when to add the garlic cloves if you want garlic mayo, and the mustard. It says add the mustard in step 3, which is with the eggs. I always forget, so I make sure I add the mustard in the bowl with the eggs so I don't. But with chili mayo, I add chili powder and chili flakes. I think about half a teaspoon of each. You can sort of trial and error it based on how spicy you like it. But I tend to just make it plain or with mustard because then I can use it for my kids' food as well. So things like homemade sushi, I'll use this mayo through tuna, or I'll make shredded chicken for lunches, for example, and mix through some mayo to pop in their sandwiches or for my salads and so on. So very versatile. But yeah, that's one of the handy features about the each recipe. There's always tips and tricks that you can follow. And then you can also add in your own notes as well. So there's a little notes section. So if I wanted, there's no recommendation here for chili. So in the notes section, I could add in how much I've used for the last batch. Say, for example, I made chili mayo today. I would write in how much chili powder and flakes I've used so that I can remember for next time. And if I go back to the recipe, it will take me back to the step where I am now, which is step 5, and it's still cooking away. It does smell a little bit vinegary when it's cooking, but don't worry, it doesn't taste vinegary at all, which is good. And I'm not sure if any of you know the good fat mayo, but this is basically tastes the same, if not better. And this size jar is 280 grams. And sells for roughly $15 at Woolies and Harris Farm, for example. But this batch will make this size, which is 380, so another 100 grams worth. So it does make it far more economical, especially when you're getting your olive oil half price as well. So highly recommend making this recipe. Now that's finished. And now I need to add in my eggs for step 3. And I've also got the mustard as well. I can tick that off. Okay, and that's just going to mix for 40 seconds. Just to combine the egg, the Dijon mustard, the apple cider vinegar, and the salt. And then if I scroll down, I can see the next step, which is going to be pouring the olive oil through. So with the TM7 lid, this is the lid cap, you take that off, and there's actually holes around vents around the lid. So I can actually pour the olive oil on top of the lid and it will go through gradually to emulsify. So that's the great thing about the TM7 or the Thermomix in general. You can make lots of sauces, dressings that emulsify, so they get really nice and thick. Okay, so sorry, the vinegar got me. All right, now for a minute and a half, it's going to be on speed 6 and it might be a bit noisy. And when it's on, I'm just going to gradually trickle the oil through the lid and then that's going to emulsify. So if you can't hear me, I'm sure Sarah will start talking.
I absolutely will because I am such an advocate for homemade mayonnaise. And as Sophie was talking and saying things, I was like, yes, 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 yes. It is so cheap to make. And unfortunately, store-bought mayonnaises, that are $3 or $4 on the shelf are made with those vegetable oils and inflammatory seed oils. So if you're someone who's quite conscious of reducing those in your diet, switching to an extra light olive oil is such an easy swap to make. And you can see here just how quickly it is for Sophie to make as well. Sorry, I'm just muting someone. And how much more she's making than that $15 jar of good fat mayo that you do buy on the shelf, which I actually had friends over today and we were having chicken and salad rolls for lunch. And I got out my homemade mayo and they were saying that they bought the good fat mayo and that it had split in the jar and it was not very appealing at all. And they were like, it was such a waste of our $15. We should have just made it in the Thermomix. I said, yes, that's why it's on your bench to be able to make these simple things.
Okay, I think Zoom blocks out the noise, but that was a bit noisy on my end. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, so it's probably harder to see in this light, but it's really, it's really nice and thick. And sometimes you might have a little bit of oil at the top of the lid, so you could just push it through at the end, or it might be here on the inside of the lid. But actually, this is probably the first time I haven't had any oil remnants. And if you do, it doesn't matter. You just scrape it down and then keep going for about 20 seconds. But yeah, that's actually looking really good. And then it will thicken up in the fridge as well.
Yeah.
Go really nice and thick. And that's the nice thing about this type of mayonnaise. It's that really thick, kind of like an egg, the traditional egg mayo you buy. Not as firm as that, but it's not runny at all. So yeah, really nice texture. It'll fill all the way to the top, but just to show you. And yeah, so I can keep popping this in the jar if you want to keep going, Sarah.
Yeah, you keep filling up your jar. You can hold it up and show us all once it's nice and full. Pop in the chat box if you have made mayonnaise before, or if you haven't, if you're going to give it a go. And if you're not keen on the extra virgin olive oil, you absolutely can use the grapeseed oil. You're already going to be using better quality eggs, a better quality oil as well. So just using your own ingredients where you know the type of eggs you're using. And then as Sophie said, you can really personalize it as well. I've made a herb mayonnaise before as well and put some beautiful herbs in there. You can make the chili mayo, which we have done before, which is delicious. I love having mayonnaise with like sweet potato chips as well. So the chili mayo with sweet potato chips, divine. So thank you, Sophie.
No worries.
I'm going to replace Spotlight and pop you on my little machine over here. Now, the next dish that we're going to make is homemade sweetened condensed milk. So I'm popping the recipes in the chat box as I go, but I'll also be sending you all an email tomorrow with all the recipes in here as well. But if you want to find them straight away, ready to cook this week, I'll pop them in the chat as we go. So homemade condensed milk, absolutely can do it. So you might be making something and realize you don't have a tin or you prefer to make it yourself. I'm going to show you just how simple it is. And there is literally, what do we got? 1, 2, 5 ingredients in here as well. So this is a cookie dough recipe as well through guided cooking. For those of you that don't have a TM7, you can see here on the screen, we can scroll through and look at our ingredients and our steps. And as Sophie said, we've got this great tip section and this new My Notes section as well, which really allows you to personalize all the recipes. If you change something, add things, take things out, you can add your own personalized notes on the TM7 as well, which is a really fabulous feature. So I'm just going to scroll back up and hit the start button here. Now, the way guided cooking works is more of a checklist style here. So I've got my first couple of ingredients here, which is unsalted butter. You can see my scales have already teared off, ready for me to start adding. I've just got some unsalted butter here that I have diced up. And yep, perfect. 40 grams of butter. And you can see here, it's ticking it off for me. So making it really efficient in the kitchen. And then our scales tear off to 0 again. So I can start adding my next ingredient, which is just some plain old water. So 125 grams of water. Nearly there. We're a little bit over. And tick that off as well. And we're going to push next. And we're just going to heat that now to melt that butter and bring the butter and the water together. So once again, pushing play, and that is going to cook down. You can see we've got 120 degrees set here on speed 2. So the beautiful thing about guided cooking, it's taking all the guesswork out of how long to do things for. Now, while this is cooking for 3 minutes, I'm going to pass over to Charmaine, who is going to get started on her dish. I'll remove my spotlight. And she is going to get started on her dish.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I've got my other timer going off. I've got bread happening in the background as well. So I had made some bread. This is for our week this week. And also for the girls to have this bread tomorrow morning for breakfast, because I know they're going to ask me. They knew I was making this tonight. All right, so chocolate hazelnut spread, it's called in cookie dough, or AKA Nutella. It's really, really easy to make. We cut out a lot of palm oil. So there's palm oil in Nutella, emulsifiers, flavorings, things like that. This is all natural and you can definitely make this at home. So what I do is I start by roasting off the hazelnuts just to bring out their oils and bring out their flavor, to really get that hazelnut flavor. Okay, so we're going to hit start, and it's just walking me through that to preheat the oven, to weigh out those hazelnuts and roast them off, which I've already done. So we're going to place some sugar. The beauty of these types of recipes is that we can control the ingredients that go in. So if 60 grams of sugar I feel is too much, I can put less sugar if I wanted to. We like sugar and the girls like sugar, and I'm okay with this kind of sugar going into their bodies because I know it's real sugar and not, what's the word, flavorings of God knows what.
And it's still drastically less than what is in a jar of Nutella.
It is, it really is. So I'm putting the full amount, which is 60 grams, and I can weigh it straight into the bowl. And we're going to put a little bit of vanilla sugar as well, which is something that you can make in your Thermomix as well. So I've already got this pre-weighed out. It's just a teaspoon of vanilla sugar just to give it a little bit more flavor, a homemade flavor. Okay, we're going to mill this down. So I've put in raw sugar, and raw sugar is the only kind of sugar that I buy. And reason being is because my Thermomix can mill it down for me.
So you can see here, she's on high speed there, milling that sugar down, creating the magic dust, as we like to call it at our Thermomix demonstrations. So we can make our own icing sugar, you can make your own brown sugar, all in your Thermomix as well. So as Charmaine said, just purchasing one type of sugar is all you need when you have a Thermomix. And there's a beautiful icing sugar. Don't breathe in.
It smells good. I want to breathe it in. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next step. And now we're going to put our hazelnuts in. So another thing, for those of you that don't know, you can make nut butters in your Thermomix. And you don't need to add anything to it. You just keep grinding, keep milling, keep chopping away, and it ends up releasing its oils and turning into a nut butter. So this is what we're going to do with this now. Sorry, I'll pop my cocoa powder in. Now the cocoa powder, it says 10 to 20 grams. I'm putting it just a little bit under 10 grams just because we don't like the tartness of the cocoa, because it does come through the more you put in. And now we're going to grind that down.
So not only can you obviously make Nutella in your Thermomix using the same milling feature, we can make our own homemade almond butter, peanut butter, cashew butter, the ABC spreads that you buy that have got a mix of nuts in it as well. And what I love about doing homemade nut butters is the ones that you buy that sit on the shelf always seem to have that real oily layer at the top that you've got to try and mix through at the start. Look how quickly, look at that. So quick, those nuts
So it's
just
grinded
made.
it into like a fine powder, but the more we grind that down, the more it'll turn into a butter. All right, so moving on, I can really smell the hazelnut, by the way, the roasted hazelnut. Okay, now I'm going to pop some milk in.
So as I was saying with your nut butters, because they're sitting in a factory or they're sitting on a supermarket shelf for months and months on end, they generally start to separate. So by making them at home fresh with your fresh nuts, will reduce that. You'll have a beautiful blended nut butter.
Okay, now this is going to heat to 100 degrees for 4 minutes.
Beautiful. So while that milk is heating, I'm going to jump back here and continue with the condensed milk. So my butter and water have come together nicely in there. And then to add our next ingredients, I'll tip you back up so you can see a little bit more of what's happening here. All I need to add now is some raw sugar. So 180 grams of raw sugar. And then some milk powder. So I've got my jar of milk powder here, and we're going to pop in 110 grams of milk powder. And you can see there, as it moves on to the next step, it tears straight off to zero. I love just how quick it is to follow these guided recipes. Perfect. And then all we need is a little pinch of salt. Push next. And then we've got 30 seconds to blend all of that together until it is smooth. And that is it. We're all done. I'm just going to also add my spotlight here so you can see me over here. So I've just got a jar here that I have sterilized, and then I'm going to remove my blurred background actually. So I've got my little jar here. So these are the vacuum seal jars that you can purchase from the mix shop. They come in a great range of sizes, but I don't know if you can see here. My beautiful, thick and creamy. I might even pop you over onto my other camera just here, just to show you how quick and easy that was to make, which is really fun. So obviously sweetened condensed milks are great for rumbles and little bliss balls and things like that. So I'm planning to use this tomorrow to make wheat bix and Milo bliss balls for the kids' lunch boxes. So we just let this cool down now with the lid off for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to store it in the fridge. Once it goes in the fridge, it will also thicken up as well because of the butter in there will start to solidify and be really thick and creamy. At the moment, whilst it's still warm, it's quite runny, but as soon as that's cooled down, good to go in the fridge, and you've got your homemade sweetened condensed milk all done. So, Charmaine, are you still on your cook time or?
I've got about 15 seconds left, but I'll just answer Sharka's question. You can totally use dark chocolate. It's a healthier alternative. If you wanted to use the dark chocolate, you can reduce the sugar, like I mentioned before. You can use other milk alternatives if you like as well. You can really tweak it to how you prefer.
There is a few different varieties and versions of hazelnut butter and Nutella on cookie dough as well. So you can really find the one that suits you. There's one that just has maple syrup as the sweetener, and you can use things like coconut milk as well. So you can make a dairy-free version as well. But the version that we're using this evening is I would say the naughty version.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we're a naughty family.
No, and that's what I mean. That's what's great about cookie dough is that it really does have a recipe to suit everyone.
I actually bought my Thermomix to make more of this sort of stuff from scratch. So this is a lot better than the store bought, as it is, like you mentioned before. So yeah, we like this version. Okay, so that's heated up and combine the cocoa, the milk, and the hazelnut sugar, all of that. Oh, now I've got to blend this for 2 minutes. So this is going to really make this really smooth in terms of the hazelnut. So this is going to go for 2 minutes. So I think, Sophie, did you want to talk about the bundles that we have on offer at the moment?
Sorry, there we go. All right. So while that is mixing or blending, I should say, soon I'm going to make LSA, and the advantage of having two bowls is that, for example, I've just used the clean mode for the mayo, so it's still wet, and I have my second bowl, which is dry. And when you make LSA, you would need a dry bowl when you're milling nuts and grains and things. So this is an example of the advantage of having two bowls, which is on our current offer at the moment. So these haven't landed in the mix shop yet. Since the TM7 launched last April, we still haven't been able to purchase a second bowl from the mix shop. So they will be $429 when they land. And at the moment, when you purchase a TM7, you can select to add on an extra bowl for $149. And we also have an alternative offer. If you don't want a second bowl, you can get an extended warranty for $99. And the extended warranty is an extra 3 years on top of the already 2-year warranty you get when you purchase a Thermomix. So that's 5 years in total. And the Thermocare extra warranty is normally $279, so it's on offer for $99. And in that 5-year period, you can also request a second set of blades. So that a set of blades is about $125. So peace of mind knowing that if you did need a second set of blades in that time, you can get that as well. And then there's also the option to get both. So if you want an extra bowl and an extended warranty, that is on offer for $199. Is that right, Sarah? I'm blanking out here. Yeah. Okay.
$200. Yeah, both for 200.
200. Yeah. Thank you. So many
Close
99s. So yeah, 200 for both. So that's a great offer, and that's a huge savings of over $700. So, but reasons why I'm a big fan of 2 bowls, even before I became a Thermomix consultant, I got my TM5 with 2 bowls, and reasons I enjoy it is if one's wet and you needed it, obviously a dry bowl, like I said, for milling. I often cook dinner with both bowls. For example, I might make a curry in one bowl and then I'll pop it to the side and make rice in the other. And they keep really warm, especially with the TM7 because it has the casing. And that means the bowl's not hot or cold to touch, unlike the other models, which is it doesn't have the casing on the stainless steel. It's obviously still stainless steel inside. It just has that casing. So keeps it warmer for longer. So for having 2 different dishes, you might need a bowl for your main and then dessert. So many reasons. You might have one in the dishwasher and you need to quickly make something and get your spare out. Another reason I like it is whenever I make the creamy coconut chicken curry, I always forget to pre-meal almonds for almond meal. And so I'll always go, oh, that's right, skip my second bowl and then make almond meal. So that's another reason as well. There's so many. I could go on, but I can see you're done, Charmaine, so I'll stop.
That's okay. I could go on and on too. All right, so this is really thickened up. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, on your big screen. Yeah, that's great.
Really, really thickened up.
Yum.
So now this is where the naughty comes in, and we are going to put in some chocolate. Now I've got some Max Brenner chocolate chips, which I'm going to use for this Nutella. So we need 170 grams.
Oh, I'm salivating just thinking about the taste of this.
Oh, the girls are going to love it. They're going to
be so happy in the morning.
So good. And then we're going to put in a little bit of oil, and the oil just helps it. This is optional. So this helps it become a bit more spreadable. It does recommend peanut oil. I am actually using avocado oil because that's what I've got in my cupboard. So I'm going to pop that in.
Beautiful. Some good fats in there to balance out the sugar.
To balance out the naughty.
Yes.
Okay. And what that's going to do now is it's going to stir for 3 minutes at 50 degrees on speed 3, and it's going to melt that chocolate down. And then it'll be done. I'll pop it in my sterilized jar, which I sterilized in my Thermomix as well. You can sterilize anything in your Thermomix that can fit in there anyway. You can do baby bottles, jars, whatever it is that you need sterilizing.
In the Varoma dish on top.
In the Varoma dish, yes, that's right.
Well,
sorry, I just want to say, when you make nut butters, it's best if you either buy roasted nuts or roast them yourself. So then when you mix and blend, it releases the oils and you get that really nice consistency. But if you even do that and you're still struggling, you can add a little bit of oil as well, depending on what you're making. That can help as well. And the other thing I did mention in the chat is you can make your own tahini as well with sesame seeds. So that's another good nut-free butter you can make. So
absolutely.
Thanks, Sophie.
No
and in terms of storage tips with this one, like Sophie mentioned with her mayonnaise, if you scroll to the bottom of your recipes, you do have tips there, and they're really helpful for when you don't really often make things like this and you're unsure how to store them. But basically airtight, seal-tight jar. You can keep it in the cupboard, but it'll only keep for about 1 to 2 weeks. I keep mine in the fridge and it keeps for up to 3 to 4 weeks if it lasts that long.
Yeah. If it lasts that long.
Yeah, and also I'm pretty much done, but I'll pour this in here and obviously like the Nutella will stick to the sides of the bowl and everything rather than wasting that goodness. I'm going to put some milk in there. I'm going to use our warm-up mode, um, melt that all into the milk. Usually like the girls are awake and they get to enjoy it. So I'll pop blend mode on and froth the milk up and they'll have a nice hot chocolate, but I'll put this away and they can have it probably
Oh,
tomorrow
no
morning
dessert for
for
you. No hot
breakfast.
chocolate, little
Oh, I'll
nightcap
have
for
some
you
sugar.
tonight.
I'll put a little bit extra there.
That's such a great tip. No wastage
No
here.
wastage.
No
Same
wastage
with
at
strawberry
all.
jam. When I make my strawberry jam, I put
Oh,
milk in at the end as well.
I
So
make
if you've
strawberry
ever been
milkshake.
looking for, if you've ever been looking for a natural alternative for strawberry flavoring for your milkshake, strawberry jam, so good.
Great tip. Love that. Beautiful. All right. Well, I'll pass over to Sophie and then we can come back to you to have a
Yeah.
look at the Nutella.
A side note, a Messina has opened up near us. So we were a naughty family last night. And the strawberry had strawberry jam in it, which I've never tried before. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, how good's that?
Yeah. So I've got my second bowl, which is nice and clean and dry. And I'm just going to go to my home screen and I've popped LSA in the meal plan for today. And I'm just going to get started.
Do you want to explain to us what LSA is?
Yes, sorry. So linseed or flaxseed, sunflower seeds, and almonds. So you could use any combination of nuts and seeds. You could skip one or the other if you didn't want something. In that you could just do LS or SA, whatever you fancy. So yeah, it's a nice milled seed and nut meal, which is great for adding to your smoothies or porridge, oats and so on. So a great way to get some extra fiber and protein and goodness in. So
Yeah.
I've got 180 grams of linseeds. No, do you call them linseeds or flax seeds? The
I call
packets
them
are flax seeds.
linseeds.
Yeah.
And
90
you've got two
grams.
different types too. You've got the golden and the brown
Yeah.
linseeds, and it
Yeah,
really doesn't matter which you use, whatever you can get your hands on.
that's true. I could only find the flax seeds. They're a bit darker, aren't they? And then some raw almonds, so 45 grams. And then literally pop the lid on. Now this will be quite loud for 10 seconds on speed 9, but you won't hear it.
So you obviously can buy LSA at the supermarket, but once again, by being able to freshly mill these seeds and these nuts in your Thermomix, really ensures the nutrient level as well. You know that they've been milled fresh, so they've got that higher nutrient level. And you're also in control of, you might want to use organic almonds and organic seeds and things like that. And look, Sophie's done it in 10 seconds and look how much she's made.
It's actually made heaps and it's this beautiful fine like fairy dust. And the great thing is that you can store this in, I actually store it in the freezer. I find it lasts longer because they can go a little bit rancid. With LSA and especially flaxseed meal, it's best to make it fresh, or if you are going to make it, don't make huge batches. Apparently it lasts better in smaller, it doesn't last as long. So this is quite a big batch. So what I'm going to do is I will pop some in a jar for the fridge to make it easy to access over the week, the next week that I add it to things, and then I'll pop the rest in a freezer bag and top up my jar when I need to use it. But yeah, the great thing about the Thermomix is I save so much money making my own flours. So I'll never buy almond meal. It's very expensive compared to buying raw almonds. So I'll always mill almonds. I also mill buckwheat kernels into buckwheat flour. That I've done chickpeas into chickpea flour before. Rice into rice flour is a good one as well. Yeah, there's so many that I'm sure I'm forgetting, but a great way, again, those pantry staples, making your own flours and seed meal as well.
Delicious. Thank you.
Right.
Right. Now back to me. As I said, like blink, if you walk away from your computer for a minute, you miss a dish at the moment because we have just got the quickest things. Remove your spotlight and then add my spotlight. Yep, beautiful. Okay, so my next dish is a little bit of a fun one, and it is a homemade version of ice magic. So who grew up having chocolate ice magic on their ice cream at home? You know, it's like a childhood, you know, not a core memory, but we used to love, yeah, seeing how thick we could put it on. So then when we cracked it with our spoon, it would crumble all over the ice cream. So obviously, you know, I like to make a lot of things from scratch and I'm quite conscious of ingredients that I feed my kids. So when I came across a healthy version with literally 3 ingredients in it, I was like, all right, let's give this a go and see if this is sort of if it works like the ice magic that you buy in the supermarket. So this is called magic chocolate sauce. It is on cookie dough as well. And as I said, it literally has 3 ingredients. So the first one is coconut oil. So because I live in Melbourne and it is freezing tonight, my coconut oil is rock hard. So 50 grams of coconut oil is going to go straight into the bowl. Probably should have pre-weighed this. Nearly there. Perfect. And I'm going to go next. And now we're just going to heat that for 1 minute on 50 degrees and just melt that down. And then I'm just going to scroll through and find my next 2 ingredients, which is cocoa powder and maple syrup. So I am using a raw cacao powder this evening and then the maple syrup. And then they're going to go in and then it's going to cook down. So obviously melt and be runny in consistency. And then I also have some ice cream to serve it on to show you guys. So I'll let this continue cooking down and then add our next ingredients in. And then I just have a little jar here that it will go into and you store it in the pantry, obviously not in the fridge because it will go hard. So this is nearly done. About 10 seconds left to go. Get a dry spoon.
One thing I'll mention is if you use cacao and you find it a bit strong, you can halve it. It's usually double the strength of cocoa. So if you don't have one or the other, that's usually a good rule to remember.
That's a great rule to remember. Oh, I'm just going to go back into my recipe here. Okay, so where are my scales? Thank you. So my kids are quite used to the taste of cacao because that's all they get. And then my maple syrup, tick that off. And maple syrup is going in here as well. And I'm just going to put a little bit more maple syrup in just to make it nice and sweet. And this is just going to cook down now for 4 minutes. The next. And push that. And I'll let that cook down. So while that is cooking down, I am now going to pass back to Charmaine, who is getting ready for her next dish. You ready to go, hon?
I am. I'll just show you. There's the Nutella. My jar is a little bit bigger.
Yum, and look how much that's made.
Yeah. I actually don't know what the size of this is, but I usually fill a 500 ml. So I think that's just a little, maybe that's a 600 ml jar. Sorry, I'm just drying my lid.
It would be good to do a price comparison for this, wouldn't it? To see,
I
because
think I
Nutella
have
is
done it
actually really
before.
expensive.
Yes, I have done it before. I just can't remember off the top of my head, but obviously anything you make in your Thermomix is going to be a lot cheaper than buying it. So it's better for your pocket and better for your health.
That's what we like to hear.
Yes, that's it. All right, so I am going to make some taco seasoning now. Now, I have a story about taco seasoning for you guys. I make my own taco seasoning often. Hubby was in the mood for tacos one night, and I had run out of taco seasoning. I had to run to the shops anyway to get some minced meat. And I thought, you know what, I'll just grab a packet. As quick as it is to grab a packet, I should have just made it in the Thermomix because I used the packet stuff and it tasted really, really bad. So something that I thought used to taste good actually tastes pretty gross. It's true what they say, when you make homemade, you can't go back. You can just really taste the flavors, the spices, all of that sort of stuff. So you can make a whole heap of spice mixes in your Thermomix. Another spice mix that I make is actually gyros. You can dry roast your whole spices, mill your spices down. There's just so many possibilities when it comes to making seasoning, spices, and anything you want. Okay, so really, really easy. You just dump all the ingredients in, it mills it down, and it's done. So the ingredients include chili. If you've got kids, you can omit chili completely. You can do the bare minimum if you wanted to. I am going to put some chili in ours. I put the lower amount, so it does say 10 to 20 grams, but I actually put 5 grams. It's just got a little bit of a hit and the girls don't seem to mind it. Now we're going to put some garlic powder and onion powder. So we're going to put a tablespoon and a quarter of each straight in, like that. Then some dried oregano. Now, if you don't have oregano, you could use some mixed herbs, just any kind of dry herbs that you have. So another tablespoon and a quarter. Can you guess what we're going to have for dinner tomorrow night?
Taco Mondays.
Exactly, yeah, that's what we're having.
And this is a really great one that you can make double, triple, quadruple
Yes.
quantities as well. Make a huge jar of it. It lasts really well in the pantry. I like to make it in little sample sizes to give to people and give to new customers as well, because it really is one of those things that once you make it yourself, you can't go back to that little $2 sachet from the
No,
supermarket.
don't make the mistake I made. It's just as easy to just make. I should have just made it myself. It was the biggest mistake I made. It was so gross. It's terrible. All right. Some sea salt. It's asking for some dried chili flakes, so I'm actually going to omit that. I'm not going to add that in, and we're going to put some peppercorns. Again, this is optional as well, just depending on your spice level. So I've got a tablespoon here, which is what it suggests, but I'm actually going to put half the amount. And that's it. We're going to mill that down for 1 minute on speed 10, and it's done. I'll pop it in my airtight jar, and it's ready to go.
Beautiful. Do you want us to wait for you to mill that? What is it, a minute? She can't hear me because she's literally on speed 10 milling that taco seasoning down. We'll come back to her because I have 20 seconds left on my ice magic. So I'll jump back over to me over here. And then I have a little bowl here, I'll show you on this one, of some homemade ice cream. I have a little video that I'm going to show you on exactly how to make this, but our ice magic is ready to go. Let me flip this down so we can all see the magic happen together. And have a little spatula. Oh, it's actually quite thick.
Sarah, we can't see, just so you know.
Ah, which one can't you see?
Oh, sorry, it's just me. Sorry.
Oh, could you? I guess yeah, if
Sorry.
you're on a
I was on the
phone.
wrong screen. Sorry.
Yes, no, that is, well, I'll hold it up as well and spread this on and let it sit for a little bit so it can start. Oh, it's pretty hard to see. Oh, this bowl is very cold. So that's gone nice and hard on the top, and I'm going to pour the rest into my other little, this is the little mini sized vacuum seal jar that you can get from the mix shop. So I'm going to scrape the rest into my little jar here. And as I said earlier, we'll keep that in the pantry. You can see here. I reckon next time I'd probably put a little bit more of the coconut oil just to make it a little bit runnier. Last time I made this, it was quite runny. Oh, it is runny actually, going into that jar there. Now I'm just going to share my screen with you because another pantry staple that I would love you guys to try is homemade ice cream. So I'm just going to share my screen here, and can I make this bigger? Full screen. Nope. All right, I'm just going to push play. So this is homemade vanilla ice cream, and it is so simple to do. So the first thing is to mill some raw sugar, add some eggs, add some cream, add vanilla, and add salt. And then you cook that down, pour it into a freezable container and freeze that. Then chop it all up and blend it. And you can see here our our final result, really. So you pop that into your ice cream tub and then pop it back into the freezer, and you've got homemade vanilla ice cream, which is really fun. So that recipe there is the honey ice cream that you can find on Cookie Doo, and I just omit the honey and add loads more vanilla onto there. So Sophie actually inspired me to make this. She was making this honey ice cream, and I was like, oh my God, it looks so good. It looks really like it'd be annoying to make,
It's
you know.
so delicious.
But
Yes, honey ice
I,
cream is our favorite.
oh,
We love
it's
it
one of those
so
things I
much.
find with having a Thermomix that there's so many things that you can do, and that you just go a little bit like, oh, ice cream, that just seems a little bit difficult. And it's not until you finally give it a go that you're like, oh my God, I could have been making ice cream for the past 5 years. And it's only this year that I started making an ice cream like this. And we're all obsessed. I love ice cream, but obviously because I'm mindful of additives in our things that we buy, I'm always like, oh, vanilla ice cream. It's so hard to find a clean one without spending like $15 on those little mini tubs of the Haas, whatever it's called.
Mm.
Um,
I'm the opposite. I
Any
skip the sugar,
anything,
and
yeah.
the honey is sweet enough, but I know you don't like the taste of honey, Sarah.
yes.
But I love,
Oh, that
yeah,
is
I love it.
better.
So you can use whatever. You don't need the sugar if you don't want to. And what was I going to say? I made it, and so did my mum. She has a Thermomix, but she also has an ice cream maker.
Mm,
And we both agreed that the consistency was the same with Thermomix and her ice cream maker.
really?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I was very impressed the first time I made it, how much like real ice cream it was. I thought, no, this can't work out exactly the same as a store-bought vanilla ice cream. But yeah, it's really good. And my ice magic is literally, I don't know if you can hear me tapping away. here on my Ice Magic. So that has frozen and set really nicely on the vanilla ice cream. So if you're not going to make the Ice Magic, I definitely recommend that you make your own homemade ice cream. And you can, like we were talking the other night with the kids, we were like, we could mix once you do that final blend stage and it's quite soft. That's the point where you could mix cookies through it, you could mix chopped chips through it, you could mix
How about
strawberry jam through
honeycomb?
it.
How about honeycomb made in your Thermomix?
Honeycomb, like
I've crumbled that through it. So good. So, so good.
possibilities. Yeah. I
Endless.
feel like we should do an ice cream cooking class
I
next.
think so.
How good would that be? Anyways, so that is the ice magic done. So it does actually make quite a small amount. So the amount that I made would be literally to eat that night for dessert. There's no point putting this in a jar because I started scraping it in and I haven't got that much. So you could obviously make a little bit more, but I think just make it fresh, pour it straight onto your kids' ice cream, and yeah, let them share in that childhood magic as well. So
I've um I've just left the taco seasoning in the bowl so you guys can
yeah,
see how
yes.
milled down
Let
that
me
is.
bring you back up onto our screens. Go for it.
So that's it there. And I'll show you at the front there.
And I bet it just
Um,
smells like taco night in your house right now.
oh my gosh, I put my nose, like I went past it and I nearly sneezed. It's very, very strong, but it's very, very yum. And so remember, I put in those whole peppercorns. I had whole cumin seeds.
Yeah,
I had the dried oregano leaves and all of that, and it's just milled it down to this fine powder. So yeah, be inspired, go through, have a look and see what rubs, spices, seasonings you can be making in your Thermomix. I really highly recommend the rosemary salt. That goes on everything. It's amazing. It's
that
delicious.
is one of my favorites.
Oh,
That
so
on
good.
roast potatoes, the best.
Yes, roast potatoes for days with that, with the rosemary salt. So yeah, so making your own taco seasoning, you emit the anti-caking agents, any flavor enhancers, fillers, things like that. It's just, you can really taste the difference.
Beautiful. Thank you. And now I think you are going to run us through another fabulous offer that we
Oh
have
yes,
running as well.
yes, I was. So we have a trade up offer on at the moment. Let me just get my okay, so trade up. If you have a Thermomix, you have a TM31, TM5, TM6, you can trade that in, or trade that up, I should say, and get a discount off the TM7. For the TM31, it's, oh my gosh, I've had a mind blank. It's $250.
250. Yep.
Yes. Um, there's just so many offers. You get lost with it all. The TM5 is $450 off, and the TM6 is $750 off. Now, if you are someone that doesn't have a Thermomix, that's okay. If you have an appliance, which I'm pretty sure you would, somewhere in your kitchen collecting dust that the TM7 replaces, you can take $150 off the total of the TM7. So in conjunction with the bundle offer that Sophie mentioned earlier, yeah, there's some pretty amazing offers on at the moment. Yep, I think that's it for me with the bundles.
Yeah,
The
absolutely. So
offers.
it runs to the 28th
Yes.
of June.
Sorry, I missed that bit.
So you can really bundle up and save here. If you're trading in a TM6, the savings is actually over $1,000 with the 750 trade up, plus the savings on the second bowl as well. So $280 saving on your second bowl, and that extended warranty as well. So if you're someone who loves a good deal, definitely reach out to your consultant, or I know a lot of you here are one of the girls' customers as well. So if you'd like more information on any of our current offers, whether it be the finance, the trade up, or the second bowl and warranty bundles, definitely reach out. We've got a couple of weeks left to go before they end.
And if you wanted to triple dip, hosting a demo, get in touch with your consultant. There are some pretty amazing host rewards on at the moment. You can get the cutter for $50. It retails for $295. If you're someone who already has a TM7, there's a second bowl there. Also for the TM6 owners, we've got the
Second bowl for them.
TM6 bowl there as well. We've got pizza oven, free thermo server, free Varoma ramekins. There's just so much to choose from.
Exactly. And we always like to say, you may have had a demo in the past. I had a demo last night and there was a lady there with her TM5. And she said, "Oh, thank you so much because I just feel really re-inspired to use my use my Thermomix more." And that's exactly why we run these cooking classes and we're always running demos as well. So you can host as many demos as you want. You may as well get as many host rewards in your kitchen cupboard as you can, because you will always learn a new tip or two along the way, whenever you're hosting. So yeah. Now, as Charmaine tips her delicious taco seasoning into her jar, I want to start wrapping things up because I like to keep these in to an hour. I'm very impressed that us three ladies have not just blabbed away all night because we do love to chat. But we've kept it in that hour. So a little wrap up. I'd like to thank Sophie for her beautiful homemade mayonnaise. Definitely give that one a go and get adventurous with it. Add that chili or your Dijon and make some nice flavored mayonnaise. We've got that beautiful Nutella as well. My sweetened condensed milk, which will be able to go in the kids' bliss balls tomorrow for school, and also the homemade ice magic. And last but not least, that beautiful LSA. If you're looking to get more fiber and nutrients and minerals into your diet, especially us women, for our hormone health, something as simple as adding a couple of spoonfuls of LSA to your morning porridge, smoothie, mix it into your granola. It's such a simple way. Yum. Look at the color of that.
So good.
Cute little jar too.
Thank you.
I love a jar. Um, and the best part is all of these things, like the two things that I made tonight, I didn't even have to go to the supermarket to get any of the ingredients for tonight's class. I had everything literally sitting in my pantry as well. And that is the beautiful thing, especially like the taco seasoning. Most of you, if you are Thermomix owners, you'll have a nice array of herbs and spices anyway. So most likely you will have all those ingredients to make taco seasoning at home. Same with the mayonnaise. The mayonnaise is all pantry staples as well. So utilizing the things that you already have at home in your pantry to be able to make these things from scratch. And most of these things took under 5 minutes as well, which is really great. So not only saving you time, saving you so much money, and also really saving, our health as well, much healthier alternatives. So I want to say a big thank you to Sophie and Charmaine for joining this evening. Would either of you like to say anything?
I just want to say thanks, Sarah, for hosting. Thanks, everyone, for coming. It's fun.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
thank you,
hope you all
Sarah.
enjoyed it. Pop in the chat box what you're going to go home, what you're going to go away and try, or what you've been inspired to try. And then feel free to share with us when you make it. We always love to see when our customers make something, especially that we do at a class too. It really puts a pep in our step to see that you guys are really getting the most out of your Thermomixes at home. And if anyone that has joined us tonight does not yet have a Thermomix, please do reach out if we can help you further so you can start making these beautiful pantry staples at home. But otherwise, thanks for your time this evening. Thanks for jumping on. And as I said, I'll send you all an email tomorrow with the recipes and the recording as well if you want to go back and watch anything. All right. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, ladies. Thanks, everyone that joined. If anyone has any questions, you can hop off mute. Happy to answer
Yeah,
them.
feel free to stay on if you want to chat.
I could talk all night about Thermomix and all the yummy things that I make in it.
All right. And that's, yeah, because Charmaine, that's your other one.
You want
Well
to stop the recording?
done. Yep, let's stop.